distant mountains in the distance, endless swells of green, red roofs, the pretty pink of posies, the hum of bees looking for some nectar, the scent of flowers floating on the air. Sunrise to sunset and all that's in between, no matter what you've heard of Coorg, it is in fact guaranteed to be lovelier than that. Terms like the Scotland of India or the Kashmir of the South do not begin to do justice to the ineffable charm and the very effable, should such an antonym exist, beauty of this unique corner of Karnataka. And unique it is in many ways, topographically, historically, and yes, gastronomically, it stands alone. You'll see. I was in Madikeri or Markara, its biggest town, with seemingly a panorama for every step you take. There was much to explore and I will get to it, but I was hungry. And that meant my first stop had to be the somewhat unimaginatively named Coorg cuisine. But as mission statements go, what more could I want? I was being met by food lover Kavita Mutana, an early champion of the place, and Girish, the owner, who joined me to talk me through both table and tradition. But as we take our seat, do notice some of the old touches that make up the decor. And remember that the Kodavas were historically warriors and militiamen, and they remain firmly ancestor worshippers. Theirs is a complicated history and one clearly that helped maintain the fierce bonds of community and clan.
We are very clannish, very, very proud of our race. Kodagu means it's not only the Kodavas. There are the indigenous race which is called the Kudia. They have been in Kodagu. The others are all settlers. The origin is a mystery.
Right.
So we have come from different, we're supposed to be from South Africa, we're supposed to be from Persia and Greece, so we really don't know.
But no melting pot this, yes. Despite that, this is a cuisine that's all its own. As the plates start pouring out, the thing that makes this meal special is that I actually have no point of reference. This is a place that boasts flavors utterly distinct from the entire state it sits in.
We were a separate state. I think that made us different. Traditions, everything developed in our own way. We have a lot of British influence which the other districts don't, but not the food.
So no points then for guessing what I start with. Coorg's most famous plate is of course the pork Madikeri, a deliciously dark curry with strong earthy tones.
Madikeri is the pepper and coriander powder, black masala, and green chili, ginger, and kachapli vinegar.
Ah yes, that thick vinegar peculiar to these parts. It's what gives Madikeri its distinctive flavour. Don't forget to have it with the kadambuttu, the steamed rice balls.
My expectations for this were pretty much sky high. I had heard so much about the pork Madikeri that I pretty much knew it was going to be amazing. My first bite, my first taste here in Coorg is about 100 times more than I could have hoped for it to be.
The love of pork continues with this plate of fried chili meat, a greasy, very fiery plate that is not just impossibly Moorish, it's made with a very specific clientele in mind.
Chili pork, I'm told, is born out of the great love in Coorg for a tipple or few. I have to say it is the kind of dish that is made with that in mind.
Did I mention I get to wash it down with cold glasses of local passion fruit juice? It's the perfect accompaniment to everything I've had and everything that follows. Like the koli curry, coconut chicken and spices, hearty and satisfying. They really know how to eat here, don't they?
I read something fairly interesting which said that even when war was on, there was never army food made. Home food came to the battles.
Very true, because Coorgs are known to be good eaters, so they wanted their women folk to take the food to the battlefield, however dangerous it was, but they wanted their own food. That's how particular I think Kodavas are about what they eat.
Right, and clearly the women therefore were equal warriors even if they did not get that distinction.
Yes, they were brave enough to take food for the husbands.
Turns out it is food worth fighting for. Take the vegetarian offerings that turn out to be as intriguing as their meat-based counterparts. A curry made with fresh kidney beans and coconut is a revelation, nutty, creamy and comforting. And then the bambale or bamboo shoot tossed with chili, so good, so suitable.
It's never happened to me before that I've tasted food where I feel like you can taste the context of it in such a tangible way. This is food that seems almost as though it grew organically out of one of the forests that it's surrounded by. You can actually taste the freshness, you can taste the quality of the soil without tasting the soil, I feel compelled to add. But it's just so rooted in earthy flavors and tones and textures, and I realize I'm going on a bit, but my goodness, I am absolutely blown away.
To end the feast, a potent brew of Coorg coffee. It's sweetened with jaggery and is strong like Hercules. I like more. It's just the refresher I needed as I head on out. There is much to see, yes. But as a visitor, if there is one quintessential Coorg experience worth exploring, it's a homestay. Yes, houses that invite you in to stay and most critically to partake of their table. So this then is Gauri Nivas, a charming home in the heart of town that is run by Bopanna Karambia and his delightful family.
Hello. Hi. Hi.
Welcome to Gauri Nivas. This is our ancestral home, which has been in the family for about 100 years. The Coorg people are hospitable.
Right.
And basically we thought, let's open a place and do things there where what we look for when we travel to a place.
But before we head in, can we just take a minute to appreciate the space, the scenery and the greenery? The lovely touches outside can be seen inside as well. It is a home, yes, and a warm, stylish one too. But believe me when I say the prettiest sight was this.
Good Lord. This is not normal. Please tell me this is not normal.
It's normal food for us.
Really?
Yes. Maybe not 3 non-veg on daily basis. Yeah, but at least 2.
This is usual? Okay, I'll bite all too literally. There's so much to choose from. Where to start? Perhaps with this, the peppery, potent, packed with flavor chicken fry. It's delicious, especially when had with some of the akioti, the rice roti, chapatis made of rice flour that in turn are expected to be doused in ghee. Have I mentioned recently that I love it here?
Now, rice chapatis, we have them either for breakfast, lunch, dinner. That's staple.
First, I was just like, are you serious? This is what you eat on a regular basis? And I was mildly horrified until, of course, I took a bite and discovered that if, you had ready access to food this good, why on earth wouldn't you?
And then there's the Terra Mitopur. I did say there's better news for vegetarians than you would have expected, right? This is another example, a sabzi made of a local, quite lovely fern. Have lots of it. And also this, the signature til or sesame chutney. It makes everything better, even the mutton curry laced with coconut milk that frankly needs no help at all.
These ferns are fabulous, I've never had them before, and it's food of the forest, and it's fantastic.
Traditionally we grew our own food.
Right.
Rice, paddy fields, pork of course. And a lot of these ferns, these greens, basically what is grown here. Traditionally what grew here, that's what we eat here.
And it is a privilege to get to sit at a table and break bread, or in this case the super steamed rice cakes with coconut milk. This is actual home food, not home style food, the kind you're not always guaranteed to get when exploring a new destination. That it's served with such a warm welcome is my happy bonus.
And the USP of a homestay is it purely takes on the character of the person who runs it. That's the nicest part of a homestay. So you're not stereotyped, it's just a homestay.
Nothing just about this homestay I can tell you as I move on to sample their jackfruit sabzi, which is spicy and so very nice, or my second plate of pandi curry. It's peppery, it's potent, it is, as it should be, slightly different from what I had earlier, but still the kind I cannot stop eating. No, really, I couldn't stop.
Now, before I wind up behaving like such a pig that someone is tempted to serve me up in pandi gravy as well, I think this might be the point to quit while I'm ahead, right?
Some payasam to finish things off, and instead of the siesta I was invited to take, I decided to walk off the excess. Maybe some shopping. There are spice stores all across the township and you should make ready use of them. I decided to stop at Nambike, a store with a lot on offer but also a larger mission.
Nambike was created about 5-6 years ago.
Right.
We've been running a school for children with special needs, and it's a free school. And to help us with funds, Tatas have given us this space to run a store and help generate income mainly for our school, but also for other children with special needs in the district.
There's lots to shop for, handicrafts, accessories, but let's face it, there's just one reason I'm here.
We have spices, and we have, and the other thing that Coorg is known for is coffee and honey. So we have different kinds of coffee. This is a blended coffee.
Okay.
So, fresh local coffee, fresh local peppercorn, fresh local honey, fresh local cardamom, fresh local rice. You may notice a trend emerging.
Very nice. Rice.
Oh.
That is grown here.
Yeah.
It's organically grown and it's supposed to be very healthy.
Right.
And yes, even bottles of kachampoli, the nectar of the region. If nectar is thick, gloopy and mouth-puckeringly tart, a bottle for me? Yes, please, and some of this too. As I gather my haul about me, to be able to carry flavors back is as valuable as the stories do. This is after all plantation country and they seem to grow it all. A coffee plantation then seemed just the thing, and so I found myself at Silverbrook, an estate run not by locals but by a couple, Yogesh and Revati, who evidently found here everything they wanted.
The plantation is around 6 acres, and we grow coffee, cardamom and pepper, but nothing commercial. Whatever we grow, we consume. Something just called us out here. We came to this place and fell in love with it.
Who could blame them? Only as we head out to the plantation, it's not quite what I had expected. No manicured stretches with perfect plants. This is a forest. How's that work?
The trees are the life for the coffee. If you bare the tree, the coffee won't grow. So when the Britishers came here 250 years ago, they found that there's abundance of rainfall. Coffee can grow here under the shade. Karnataka is the only place in the world where coffee is grown in the shade. Really? Elsewhere in the world, it's all, they have more of sunlight.
So what does that add to it? Does that make it for better coffee or?
You see, very frankly speaking, it is not very exotic. Every man's coffee. But it gives a good kick in the morning when someone has a cup.
I cannot argue with that.
And this is the tree in which the pepper vines can grow very well.
Generous trees, huh? Pepper and the coffee I was looking for.
It's a Robusta, which has larger leaves compared to Arabica, which has smaller leaves. And these are the beans which are forming.
Okay.
Not any plant, part of the flower or the tree or the bush smells of coffee.
Yeah.
The leaves, the flowers, the beans.
None of that.
Not before they are roasted.
Did not know that. And also how lovely it can be here. Moody and mysterious with fern and brook and plenty. Really. Want a bite or a sip, you can get it. But it's now time we head out where, as it turns out, more liquid refreshment awaits us. Cups of their coffee in different preparations, the beans themselves roasted and on the ready, a glass that's cold and creamy, cups that are hot and steamy. I can't wait, especially as along with that are cucumber and tomato sandwiches, but no ordinary ones these.
These are freshly plucked cucumbers from our estate, and then also the pepper which you saw just a short while back. That's been ground and put on top of it.
And no, by the way, that's not treacle, that's more of the kachampoli, and it's the first time I'm trying it neat, so to speak.
The local people have pork aplenty, so then since there's so much of fat in the pork, it tends to lessen the fat content of the pork once you cook in it.
All wishful thinking.
Yeah, but it's very, very pungent. Just a drop is enough for...
You weren't kidding.
And because clearly I needed it after that homemade payasam flavored with perfect homegrown cardamom.
You know, I know that this is sort of my cue at this point to say something, I don't know, interesting, something profound, insightful, or at the very least, something humorous, and if I'm being honest, I've got nothing. There is nothing I can hope to say, and I'm hoping that Since this picture clearly speaks 1,000 words, I actually don't have to.